So, what have you got?
I don't know, Adrian. I keep thinking about a skit for this week.
All right.
And it's kind of our thing now. We do skits.
For every book review.
For every book review, but I can't... I mean, I had an idea, but we don't own guns. I mean, how can you kill somebody without a gun?
Don't worry, I got you. We've got an axe.
Well, that's the axe. I still don't understand why you own an axe. You don't
What
chop
did you just
wood.
say?
Well, I guess you could kill someone with an axe. That's something.
You gotta have it in your
but
apartment.
That's one. What do we got?
We got your standard issue hammer, standard kitchen knife. This you keep in your boot. This even has.
Why would you have that? That's like a fish hook. What else do you...
Ever been violent with an ice scraper?
No, I haven't been. A spoon?
That is a collector's item. Mini axe, you got a file here, you got a knife, you got a screwdriver. That is a machete.
That's unnecessary.
Roberts gave this to me. Feel that. Just feel it. The edge.
Why do you own two machetes?
This is a kukri.
That is completely unnecessary. That is... No.
It's about 1/4 inch thick. Got a file? Got a file?
So how do you feel about the Marvel Universe?
I thought we were doing this. Welcome to Strip Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we're here with you for this week's book review. Dalton, what are we reviewing this week?
We're going to do a little different this time.
All right.
We're going to talk about something popular.
All right.
Not exactly literature. It's a comic book again.
I got you.
Deadpool
Okay.
kills Marvel.
Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe?
Oh, yes, absolutely. How can you go wrong with that?
Kills the Marvel Universe.
What would you like to say about it, Adrian? What can we talk about? What is good about this?
Did you pick a favorite quote?
I did.
Okay.
I did. You're going to hate me for it. This is a very deep quote. Very meaningful. At one point after Deadpool has killed Thor, he honks his nose and says, boop.
Okay.
That's my quote. That's
your quote.
That sums up this entire piece.
Okay. Okay.
And I laughed my ass off when I read it.
That's what got you.
It killed me.
That's the one that killed you?
Almost killed me.
Yeah. Full of good moments. I will say that was the best gag as far as straight Deadpool gags in the piece.
See, that's the thing. When I'm reading about Deadpool, especially with the movie, a lot of people are going to be picking this up because they're expecting Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
That was perfect.
So let me ask you, since we're talking about quotes, we talked about the movie a little bit. When you read this,
Okay.
did you hear Ryan Reynolds' voice?
See, that's the thing. At one point, especially when he's got his mask off,
Yeah.
you're looking at it, you're like, oh, that doesn't look like Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
But it's not supposed to.
Right.
So I don't know if people's portrayal of Deadpool by Ryan Reynolds is going to change their taste for this. Because, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people have liked and read Deadpool for a long time.
Long time.
And now a lot of people are going to be introduced to Deadpool and they're going to want to like and read Deadpool. So you got two different views going here.
Well, and it's interesting to go meta on the character a little bit. Deadpool was introduced not as a comedic character.
Okay.
He was introduced just as this badass wielding swords.
Which he is.
And one of the comics ended with a line that I'm not going to be... they stop him because he went through everybody. And they've got him tied up. And they're talking about what they want to do with him.
Okay.
And he just gives this backhanded little dialogue that was something like, you know, I've always wanted to see a ski resort, or something like that. I don't remember what it was. But that's the moment where they said, you know what?
Well, maybe we should take it this direction.
Yeah, we're going to go a little further here. My quote actually goes in a little bit of the opposite direction.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember where it is in there actually now, but I think it's when he's fighting Taskmaster.
All right.
In the swamp, and we get the quote, "The hero's journey is about pain." The hero's journey is about pain. That is not a Joseph Campbell reference. Is not what I opened up Deadpool expecting to see.
It's a very Adrian quote. I'll give you that one.
It's a great quote.
It is a good quote. It is, and you know that's the brilliance of Deadpool. All comedy aside, because it's comedy. There are those little moments of realism. When you look at Deadpool's backstory, when you look at, because this is about his pain and suffering.
Right.
And just unleashing it.
Yeah.
Hey, there are some serious notes in here that are just coupled with humor.
Deadpool is the comics of Deadpool is putting a microscope on the dichotomy that are our comic books.
Okay.
Right? Ultra violent, ultra wisecracking. That's one part of the spectrum of comic books. The other part is you're getting stuff you didn't know about, right? You're getting meat and story and drama. The fact that he is a cancer survivor.
Yeah.
Right? The little bits about the hero's journey. Right? This is a microcosm of the different parts of comic books that the general audience maybe doesn't give comics the credit for having.
And I think that's unfortunate, because when it comes to it, everything we do, we read. Literature, novels, classics, pop fiction, it's entertainment.
Right.
That is what its primary purpose is a form of entertainment.
Okay.
So comic books, yeah, they're entertaining, but they get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at some of the big ones, let's talk about The Sandman for briefly.
Okay.
Let's talk about The Watchmen.
Okay.
These are comics that have had a little more meat to them, if you would, than just, 1950s superhero. And they have really made their mark in literature. Agree? Disagree?
I will disagree. Was it Heidegger who said that the purpose of art is to inform?
Okay.
Was it Heidegger or Heidegger?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't remember. I'll look it up. I'll try and talk about this in another video as well. But if I find it. But I think that the purpose of art is to make art.
Okay.
If it entertains, it entertains. If it does not, it does not. If it informs, it informs. If it does not, it does not. Like I always say, it takes a jackass to read Shakespeare and be able to see literature.
Okay.
Right? That is that is just, it's out there, right? It is made to be consumed as literature.
Yes.
This maybe is not made to be consumed as literature, but boy, if you can find it in there, it's in there. It's in everything.
It is in everything.
And it takes you to find it.
And it does. And somebody could just pick up this comic and they could just scan through the pages, get the jokes, whatever, and just put it down. They could completely skim over that particular quote you picked, but they're still going to enjoy themselves. Now, us, could sit down and just break this down and toil over it for days and try to pull this and try to pull that and plug this and plug that.
Try to pull all the fun out of it.
And it's still fun.
Right.
It's still enjoyable. And that's, what makes literature great. Yeah, that's my happy little tag and slogan for the week. Literature's great. Okay. So.
What are your 3 good things?
3 good things. It's funny. This is very funny.
Okay.
Because, it's Deadpool. We got to enjoy that. Entertaining, if you will. When Deadpool kills the writers and breaks that 4th wall, just flawless. Absolutely love that, because you don't get that very often.
Right.
How often is a writer actually mentioned in his piece of literature?
And I hope that's not even what the writers look like.
Oh no, I hope it's exactly what they look like.
I hope it's not, because then that adds more irony to the situation.
Okay, fair enough. And I think, I'm going to agree with you on here. We could find more literary elements in this piece if you just look for them.
Right.
I'm going to give you that one.
Okay. My 3 good things were that this is very fast-paced.
Okay.
There is never a moment of lull.
Okay.
The most Deadpool ending possible.
Absolutely.
With those writers. There are unique and entertaining kills.
Yes.
Which I think is easy to overlook, right? Because it'd be easy for Deadpool to just go in waving katanas and kill everyone. That's not what happens here. A lot of the kills that are shown are pertinent to that character, right? He's got the special sword that can cut through adamantium to kill Wolverine. He allows the Hulk to rip him to shreds so that the Hulk can then go and be tired and fall asleep. So
using
he kills
his tools to their full ability.
Right.
Which I believe is the symptoms of a sociopath. So good for Deadpool. Good for him. Well, why not? Let's give him that
Where did you think we were going?
Let's talk about bad things, because there's always bad.
Okay.
What do you got?
It's sort of empty.
Okay.
Emotionally devoid, I will say.
Okay.
There's no real character moments. Nothing is learned, and it feels episodic.
Okay.
Besides the collection cover, there is no compelling cover art through this thing.
All right.
Now, one of the things that's big in the comics universe is the covers of the comics and the alternate covers, and
it's a very
some
big,
are collectors.
big thing.
Right. But none of them are really very good throughout this collection.
I'm going to agree with you, episodic.
Okay.
There are some points in this it just feels like you just read a comic book.
Okay.
It's, well, good guy beating up bad guy. Except opposite, but whatever. That's a big point there. There's a lot of fan service in this. Like, it just seems like he's doing these things just because, let's plug that in there. This doesn't have a point, but let's let him kill this guy too. And in order to believe those kills, you have to suspend your disbelief quite a bit. Quite a bit. The Deadpool can just walk in and take out these, legends of the Marvel Universe.
The Professor Xavier one stuck out.
Yeah, just effortlessly.
Right.
The brain aneurysm or whatever he had. Come on.
Yeah.
So I think that could be considered a negative thing. I'm not crazy about it. But, maybe I'm wrong. You usually tell me every week that I'm wrong, so what am I wrong about?
Well, you're just wrong.
I'm just wrong in general. Fair enough, I'll give you that. I guess I'll just sit here. Move on.
Dalton's wrong. Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. I'm a comic book fan, not as into it, I think, as I should be. I know you read a lot more comic books than I do. You know a lot more about the history. But this being my first Deadpool comic, saw the movie first, familiar with the character, but never actually sat down and read a full volume of him.
Okay.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It really was.
So let's get into that a little bit, because I've read quite a bit of Deadpool.
All right.
I've seen quite a bit of Deadpool, other incarnations of Deadpool. How do you feel about Ryan Reynolds versus Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe?
It's Hollywood. It is. You've got to have those Ryan Reynolds moments where you could say, yeah, it was Deadpool, or yeah, it's just Ryan Reynolds. That actor is so much like Wade Wilson, though, humor-wise.
Right.
It's hard to distinguish. Now, reading it like this, yeah, I could see Deadpool is a little different than the movie gave us. A little darker, I'd say, for sure. But the humor's still there.
Okay.
There's a lot of violence in the film, yes, but it seems like the violence in this is almost exaggerated violence. It's there for the purpose of being violence. Does that make sense?
I would argue that a lot of the violence in the movie was that way as well.
Okay.
The 12 bullets on the bridge
Yes.
scene, that was creative, but also ultra-violent in a way that maybe was unnecessary.
For the point of being violence.
But that is the character of Deadpool.
Now, I will say, I could be wrong talking out of my ass here. This character of Deadpool in this particular compilation seems a little different. And maybe this is just because, he's going after the Marvel Universe, but it seems different than the Deadpool I imagine I'd be reading.
Yeah, it was strange for me in that way too, because this was not the seminal Deadpool from the comics, nor was this the Deadpool that Deadpool has sort of become in the comics, where he's, what is it, a brony?
A brony, yes.
He's not that out there in this one, nor is he maybe as try-hard as he is in the more mainstream Deadpool pieces. And that's why I sort of felt that this was, like, one of my bad things was it's sort of empty, in that there are moments where he is just killing, which isn't the Deadpool that Deadpool grew to be, and that's how Deadpool grew to be so popular.
Okay.
Right? Deadpool was always sort of, he was American Psycho. Patrick Bateman. He was Patrick Bateman with a sense of humor, sort of, right? If you've ever read the Bret Easton Ellis novel, there are moments where Patrick Bateman is just sitting somewhere wondering how he could play with someone's blood.
Okay.
And that was a Deadpool thing, but Deadpool would be funny with it.
Yes.
He sort of, save for the boop with Thor, there's very few actual funny taglines at the end of a kill scene.
Exactly. It seems like he just kills, it's very cold, and he moves on.
Right. Which adds to the fast-paced nature.
It does, and maybe that's necessary because this is not Marvel kills a couple of or Deadpool kills a couple of the X-Men.
Right.
This is the Marvel Universe. He's got a lot of people to go through. And we do hit the big names. That's great. But I think I really would have liked to have read another Deadpool first. I'm not sure this is the one that I would say to someone who has just seen the Ryan Reynolds film, hey, go out and read Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
Right.
So maybe I'm wrong there. I used to work at a bookstore. We sold comics. And we'd buy used comics and sell used comics. And there was always a guy there, anytime we got any used Deadpool, would buy the lot. Every single one of them. So I don't know if his perspective and my perspective on this would be different. I would say yes. So I'm not sure this would be my suggestion for a first-time Deadpool reader.
Well, and that's one of the interesting things about comic books is they are so episodic, and they are so multiple, and there are so many different writers and artists working on one character.
Yeah.
That there will always be little, ironically, mutations in the character, his or herself.
Okay.
So while and whereas this is not my favorite incarnation of Deadpool, this would be very easily considered canon, right?
I'd say so,
There's
yes.
nothing deviating too far from that which is Deadpool and Deadpool has become to be.
Yeah, this is not a weird, alternate universe or
Right.
anything. This is just a snippet of Deadpool.
Right. But there is some traversing to alternate universes.
There is some traversing to alternate universe, but it's not an alternate storyline. Maybe
Right.
that's better worded there.
And I want to talk about something you sort of touched on a little bit, where you said we kill some of the big names.
Yes.
Why does it feel so complete, do you think? It felt complete to you, though, right?
Yeah, it did.
Let me ask your opinion why it felt so complete, because I've got a take on this.
You got to take on that. Okay. We get some of the big names. We do. In addition to the big names, we get some of the big, not well-known, the Watcher. He's not
Right.
a big name, but he's a very important character in the
Integral
Marvel
to the
universe.
entire thing.
Absolutely. But when you just, polish off those big ones, it feels complete. Now, did he go through and he get every single person? Absolutely not. That we saw. But we can assume, since he's taking out the top of the hierarchy, he's already worked his way through the trash.
See, I think along a little bit different lines there.
Okay.
He didn't take out all of the big names. He took out a good deal of the big names. He took out. Here's the reason I think it felt so complete. The people he killed were instigators to the story.
Okay.
Right? The people who wheeled him into that ward in the first place.
All right.
Professor X and Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Cyclops? He killed Cyclops, right?
I don't recall specifically, unless Cyclops just happened to be there.
I believe he killed Cyclops.
Okay.
There's a lot of killing in this.
Oh,
so it's
yeah,
hard to-
yeah, he did. He did absolutely, because he blew himself
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Excuse me.
Which was sort of reminiscent of Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So he killed the people who were integral to the story's inception.
Okay.
He killed the big names that you wonder, how's he going to kill the Hulk? Because the Hulk is indestructible.
Exactly.
Though the Hulk had nothing to do with the rest of the piece. So he killed those types. And he also killed characters, to mention Wolverine again, like Wolverine, Spider-Man, the Punisher, that he has had previous interactions with in his comic book life.
Yes.
Right? In his life as a character.
Okay.
So there is, while and whereas there are other characters shown to be dead, such as the Green Goblin, during the run of this thing, you don't have to show those kills, because everyone that does get shown dying is important to the character of Deadpool, or to those things which will make this story move.
Okay. That makes
Right?
sense. I can give you that one.
How do you kill Luke Cage,
Okay.
who has impenetrable skin?
Yeah.
Right? But he doesn't. So that's one of those things. Luke
You're
Cage
killing
and
the
Hulk-
ones that are important to him, and the ones that people are going to be like, well, he got them all, but how did he get the
Right.
Hulk?
Right.
Okay.
That's
makes
why
sense.
it feels so
makes
full.
sense. I think we've got to mention the ending. It's so perfect because not only did he kill the universe,
Right.
he killed the universe from ever happening again.
Yeah.
Going in and actually killing the writers, breaking that fourth wall again, which I think is very important to the humor of this. Really, from a literary standpoint, though, not only has he extinguished everyone who has crossed him and everyone that he set out to get rid of, he has gotten rid of their opportunity to ever come back,
Right.
which is beautiful.
I mean, it's the most Deadpool ending possible.
It is, it is. I really enjoyed the ending. That was wonderful. unexpected and funny, all about it.
But was there anything innovative about this comic in general? Is there anything from this run that you will take with you into your readership?
This was entertainment.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think this was a big thing literary. I think it has its moments. Your quote, I think, is very good. But this is nothing that's going to be like, oh, I've got to change my writing now because I read Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
That's why I would only give this 82 International Women's Days out of 100.
82?
82.
Because I always lowball you, I was thinking 75. It is a fun read. Very quick read. I'd highly suggest if you can, go out, pick it up, give it a read. But it's light reading.
Do you think that a second reading would change anything for you because you brought in the expectations of Ryan Reynolds?
Maybe, maybe not. Because, like I said, it's pretty true to the Deadpool character. I think the film was pretty true to the Deadpool character.
The title gives you exactly, or you get exactly what the title promises.
Absolutely. There is a scene, though, where you see Iron Man and Captain America without their masks.
Right.
They look exactly like the films portrayed them. It's like the guy who actually forged Iron Man went forward in time and looked at Robert Downey Jr. like, well, that's Iron Man.
I got it.
Exactly. So, yeah, this isn't Ryan Reynolds. So if you're going in with the expectation of that, you're going to be disappointed. But it's still Ryan Reynolds.
It is still Ryan.
So if you go into the expectation of that, you're going to enjoy it.
Right.
So if that makes any sense at all, as I'm just, circling myself here.
Shades of. I think that's the important thing.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew this, but say you wanted to make a t-shirt with Chiefs on the front.
All right.
You can do that.
Okay.
So long as the red is 15% away from the Chiefs red and the yellow is 15% away from the Chiefs yellow.
Okay.
Otherwise it falls within the standard of that copyright. This feels sort of like that. The movie Deadpool is 8% lighter than the standard Deadpool. This comic is maybe 8% darker than the standard issue Deadpool.
So a slight deviation that would fool anyone who isn't familiar.
Exactly.
But to someone who really cares about this, they're going to point out those flaws.
But you can buy it in the back of someone's pickup truck in a parking lot.
Which is, I expect, exactly how you should purchase anything.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What did you think of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe? Was there anyone you would have liked to have seen in this comic book that we didn't actually get to see?
Yeah, who did they leave out? What was the quote that stood out to you?
Should I start booping Adrian's nose?
Subscribe.